Hello, welcome to our presentation on Virtual Load View. My name is Bill McHenry and I am a product manager at Omnitracs. Omnitracs is a fleet solutions company that has been providing solutions for over 30 years for carriers, and we are excited for this opportunity to expand our services to transportation brokers as well. Throughout the course of this presentation, we'll discuss what Virtual Load View is, how brokers benefit from using Virtual Load View, how carriers benefit from using Virtual Load View, and what steps to take to configure Virtual Load View so it can provide your business a positive experience. Before we get too far into the details, I first want to discuss the four main people who are impacted by Virtual Load View. The overreaching goal for Virtual Load View is to provide the right data to the right people. This could include shippers and brokers, people who are outsourcing their freight transportation to a third-party carrier. There is no longer a need to sacrifice the lack of insight into where your freight is located by outsourcing. So shippers and brokers both can benefit directly from Virtual Load View's freight tracking system. Carriers and drivers are also involved in this. Carrier from a standpoint that it makes their business more attractive, and drivers because there is an extreme ease of use of Virtual Load View and in most cases doesn't impact them at all. The Virtual Load View provides visibility into every load. And it all starts with the hardware, this tracking position updates. This can come through the Virtual Load View mobile app that a driver can download on an Apple or iOS device, or they don't need to do anything by allowing Virtual Load View to track Omnitracs hardware such as our mobile computing platform, MCP, or our Intelligent Vehicle Gateway, IVG platform. This data is already being collected, and Virtual Load View just needs to listen for this data. We will also start expanding our services to another Omnitracs platform called the XRS Relay within the coming months. All this data feeds into Virtual Load View, and from there, you can tie Virtual Load View into your back office system through an integration with our API calls. This makes it easy for you not to have to relearn a whole new system. Instead, the data goes exactly where you want it, and you can consume it in any fashion you like. We are also developing the Virtual Load View portal, so if you do not need an integration or don't have the resources to build an integration, we can allow you to access the Virtual Load View portal to submit load tracking requests and track those loads as needed. The Virtual Load View today consists of around two web service calls. The first is a load tracking request. You submit the name of the carrier, the driver ID, the date and time of pickup, and the date and time of departure. That information gets sent to Virtual Load View, and you also submit how frequently you want Virtual Load View to send you results. So how often do you want to receive load updates? And that can be as frequently as every 5 minutes or as much as every day. So as soon as that API call is received by Virtual Load View begins listening for this information. A second web service call will allow you to see what Virtual Load View has available for updates. And Virtual Load View will send back the latitude and longitude of the freight, where it's at, as well as the timestamp for the last position update. Additionally, you can subscribe to other milestone events so you can understand when the load was picked up and dropped off at both the pickup and drop-off locations. We can do this through two methods. First is our macro messaging. What this is a form message that a carrier creates. It's a template that they create as part of their standard operating procedure. And drivers submit these templates for a wide variety of different reasons. But one is when they drop off the load, they may submit this macro message to let the carrier know that the load has been delivered. And we can map this to Virtual Load View. So not only does the carrier benefit from that, but the broker does as well. We are also in the process of testing a proximity tracking. So to take the driver completely out of this, we can set a radius around the latitude and longitude for both the pickup and drop-off location that will alert you when the driver enters and leaves that geofenced area. That way you get more up-to-date information, and you do not have to rely on the driver remembering to submit those macro messages. So that's how Virtual Load View works. But what does that mean to you and your business? Well, first of all, it allows you to reduce the overhead to track loads brokered out to third parties. It gives you greater load visibility. So right now you probably have a lot of call centers that are manually calling up carriers, asking them where their freight's located. Well, it's hard to do a lot of that, and it also gets you old information. So by integrating, we are able to get you more frequent load updates, more accurate updates, and you can have that call center do other things. Additionally, this data will allow you to manage loads by exception. So if you start seeing a load that's about to be in trouble of not meeting its deadline, there might be some things you can do to prevent that from happening, or at the very least, update your customer and let them know that their load is falling behind schedule. So with this solution, we estimate that you can save up to $50,000 per year per resource by switching from this manual tracking mechanism to Virtual Load View. That way you can reallocate those resources so they can go move on to bigger and better things. So I think it's pretty straightforward how the broker benefits from this, but the carrier needs something from this too to allow them to provide this service to the broker. Well, first of all, a carrier becomes a lot more attractive to a broker when they can provide real-time updates on freight, especially updates dictated by the broker. And all things considered, if all else is equal, a carrier who can provide a solution and a carrier who cannot, you're probably going to go with the carrier who can provide the solution. So that brings in more business for the carrier. And like I said, it also removes the need for you to have a manual call center calling the carrier every day. Well, they benefit from that as well. Instead of having to answer your call every 5 minutes, they can focus on their fleet. And they can be reassured to know that you are getting your information in a more timely manner as a result of this integration with Virtual Load View. Finally, it's risk-free. There's really no reason not to do this. There's no cost for them to have you use Virtual Load View. And if they don't like what's going on, if at any point they decide they need to cut off the data flow, it's a very simple process, a very quick process. So they are in complete control at any given time. So it's completely risk-free for them. So if all that sounds good, where do we go next? Well, the first thing is we need to have a consultation meeting. The first thing we like to discuss is integration right for your company, or should you wait for the Virtual Load View portal? That will be a discussion topic. First, if we decide that the integration is the right route, then we want to share our documentation so you get a good understanding of the data elements within those two web service calls and how you can best consume them. Next, we will have you sign a customer contract as we do with any of our customers for any of our application. This outlines the terms of service as well as the pricing schedule. And then you will be added to the Virtual Load View network, and you can start providing us your list of carriers you'd like to see added to that network. And as we add these carriers, we do check to see if that carrier is already part of the Virtual Load View network. If they are, great. We can get you tracking them in almost near real time. If they are not, then Omnitracs needs to go talk to that carrier and get them to sign a data share agreement. Rest assured, your legal team does not need to be involved in this at all. This is just our way of ensuring that our customers, our carrier customers, are taken care of, and we let them know that what their data is going to be used for with Virtual Load View. So with that, we appreciate your time. Please reach out to us on the phone number and email address presented on the screen. And we would love to hear from you and discuss more on how Virtual Load View can be part of your business. Thank you very much.